Hello, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer here. We are continuing our MSQ. We're at level 50, post-ARR, Post-A Realm Reborn. And we are coming up on Revolution. Let me see if I can pull up the journal article for it. General Raban has summoned you to a private meeting in the Fragrant Chamber at which he wishes to discuss the results of your investigation as well as his own. Elfino has already been notified and will be waiting for you outside. Proceed to the Royal Promenade and speak with Bartholomew. Elfino says, "Excellent work, Gav. The information you brought us helped me persuade General Raban to call this meeting. Mayhap now we can discuss matters openly and honestly." "We've been expecting you, sir. Please proceed inside."
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin,
Dickens.
Man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Oligon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Oligon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon, one which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Oh my. Recent revelations weigh heavily on Alphino's mind. Alphino says, I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Lieutenant Tia. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cartano. Sultan Swarm Squire says, "Begone, whelp. This is no place for children." Ellie says, I'm sorry. I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. Elfino says, "You know this girl." Oh, we don't give our characteristic nod. So, he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll have me a look, mister? Of course, but first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see, so no one is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there? We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to Quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans and ether-starved primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Gav, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. The Twelveswood? Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed? I've received no reports of Ixali activity, which leaves the Sylphs? Go, Gav, you know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. All right, we're back, and let's speak with Minfilia at the Rising Stones. Oh, Lorian has a quest for us. Lorian looks at you with an appraising eye. A wayfarer like yourself must be privy to all manner of tales, yes? So tell me, what do you know of the adventurers who purged the cultists from the ruins of Amdapor Keep? Yeah? What? It was you who did the deed? Then you are just the person I have been seeking. There's a man I would have you lend your ear to, a hearer known as Adiston. He dwells in Camp Tranquil, from where he surveys the Twelveswood. Of late, he's sensed dark stirrings in Amdapor Keep and would speak with you, one who has braved the ruins already. But I should put no more words in Brother Adiston's mouth. Pray attend him in the South Shroud. If you give him any name as proof of your intent, he will not withhold a single detail of what he has observed. Let's see what these guys have to say now. An adventurer bends not to authority, but lives and acts according to his own beliefs. He is the master of his own destiny. Higiri? I've been tasked with helping out in the kitchen. Once I've grown accustomed to my duties, I hope to treat our host to traditional Doman cuisine. In my native land, there exist individuals not unlike these adventurers, yet without a master to serve. How does one know the path that one must walk? All right, I don't know, is Thancred still drunk? Some 15 years ago, a mission took me to Hulda. 'Twas then that I first chanced to gaze upon your beauty. I was utterly transfixed. I dared not blink, lest I deprive myself of you in a split second of your radiance. Well, I mean, you do flatter me, my dear, and I do believe you've had a bit too much to drink. I come on behalf of the Elder Seeds here to petition the aid of your order. The antecedent has been apprised of the situation. Okay. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Gav. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Alphino suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. I don't know. It might not. His ego is pretty big. The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Minfilia wants to discuss what's going on in the Shroud. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business then, I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the primal Ramuh. I'm sorry, may have. Then it is not certain, says Thangrid. The Elder Seer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Pepalimo, forgive me, antecedent, but that fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramuh is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if there were any foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. Y'shtola, the abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't, says Ida. I am pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did naught to prevent it? I told Papalimo. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramuh once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. Papalimo says, and so long as Castromorian stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. Y'shtola, I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of the men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without this civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Gav, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solus, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramuh can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. Y'shtola says, a fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since time immemorial. Ida, but maybe this time we can. Minfilia says, let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramuh's presence. The Elder Seatseer has requested your personal involvement, Gav. Pray report to Commander Huwa at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. The Elder Seatseer has asked for you by name. Pray, report to Commander Ulwa at the Adder's Nest in Gridania with all haste. All right. We'll go over to Gridania. Gav of the Scions, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seatseer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve a cause. I will lead further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nafika's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand. The other Scions have already arrived, sir. May I show you in? Got a little waylaid by Ifrit. Ingrid, I see the Sylphs have sent their own representative. There can be no doubt then. It is said that once Ramuh passes judgment, his wrath is implacable. It would be best to conclude this discussion ere Gridania and its people are placed upon his scales. Whatever the Elder Seatseer is planning, I want you to know that I'll be right there by your side, and I'm sure Y'shtola won't be far behind, even if she does think everything's mankind's fault. I'm most curious to hear how the Elder Seatseer means to treat with Lord Ramuh. Oh, hello, Walking One. It is good to see a friend of Elder One.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs, too, have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray
Looks like the sylph is real happy.
then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
All right, let's put a little solace. Gav of the Scions? I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramuh himself, an unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I've been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. The Serpent Lieutenant looks about, seemingly awaiting a visitor. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finish their investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching, and have wisely identified the precise location where the touched ones summon Lord Ramuh. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good man to his fellow Scions? It would be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please, please come with this one. And off we go. Wise ones have ventured deep, deep within the Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for touch ones. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no farther. Draw too close to Lord Ramuh, and this one may turn mean and nasty like touched ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here to the south. Go in safety, Walking One. So, Thancred is Thancred, Pepalimo's Pepalimo, Yustola is Yustola, and you are you, right? Well, that's easy enough to remember. This one's name is Ida, in case walking one was wondering. Joke! I'm joking. Okay. Ida's a little strange. Ah, there you are. It is you, isn't it? Why is everybody so interested if it's me? Don't ask. Suffice it to say that we had something of a situation here. Okay. So, it's actually you. I am relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I am able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Ystola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalimo. Ahem. My apologies. It was not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and I am pleased to say I have reached an indisputable conclusion, to wit, that Ramuh was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetheryte. Come, Gav, the Lord of Levin waits. And here I am wearing metal armor.
Betrays thee, servant of hiding. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramuh, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges, that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal.
shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Eorzea, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Striking a tree hard. Levin and impression. Nice. May as well unlock some of these. Yes, I am Adistan. Whenever listening to the shroud, pray tell, why have you sought me out? You are come at Lorian's urging? Good heavens, the elementals smile upon me, sending one of the brave souls who smote the cultists within Amdapor Keep. Well met, my friend. I am here at Avrun Senna's behest to investigate the keep. You are here because of my findings. Terrible things fester within the ruins, and someone must destroy them. Yes, even though the lambs of Dalamud and their dealings with void scent plague us no longer, the felt presence hanging over the place grows stronger by the day. Wood whalers ventured into the keep to find the cause. Their reports were chilling. Someone has completed the cultist rituals and summoned the most ghastly of void scent. Over them reigns a leader, peerless in might and malice. You must find this void scent lord and so dispel the foulness hanging over the ruins. Maxine guards the gates of Amdapor Keep. I shall alert her to your coming. Now go, my friend. May the elementals guide you to victory. All right, now we gotta go talk to her. What brings you back to this tainted place, adventurer? Ah, so you are the one who has answered Brother Addison's call to enter the ruins. I warn you, though, the keep has never been more perilous. The evil that dwells within has warped the forest life, turning woodland animals to brutish beasts. The place is feral. Our only hope is to slay the void scent at the center of the castle. If we do not, well, I pray that the elementals guide your way through the keep, adventurer, and your victory brings peace to the forest. All right. So I think we're probably about halfway through the post-ARR stuff already. I think there's more to it than just a couple of sentences of text. All right, here we are. Somebody just said, "Hello, brave adventurers. Regretfully, we do not have time to ruminate and reminisce, for we must press onwards." Somebody said, "F that, I'm here to ruminate only." All right, here we go. Somebody said, "Thank you for party," or "You fought well, my friends, but your journey is far from over." And somebody says, "Nah, I'm done." Oh my gosh.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light.
And darn am I good.
And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, the truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Scions. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
So, hey, I figured out what's going on. There might be the give us clues to the Scions, but let's talk about it back at the Rising Stones. Yeah. Gav, you've returned. Dare I ask how Ramuh received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms? It is well then that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest's champion of peace. You performed a monumental duty this day, Gav. The Elder Seer must be informed of your deeds at once. Serpent Lieutenant is ready to send you on your way. The Elder Seer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray, return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The conjurer at Nafika's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Gav. Back to Gridania. Welcome back, honored Scion. We who know of your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Seer awaits you within. Yish told us that it would seem that Eda's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be so swift to discount her intuition. Eda says, "You should have seen Maxio when we got back to Little Solace. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was going to shake Papalimo's hand off." Ah, the hero of the hour. Let us not keep the Elder Seer waiting. I fancy my presence was more help than hindrance during our troubles with the Leviathan, but this time around, well, even I have my off days.
You are returned to us, dear friend. and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow Scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramuh has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Stola. 'Twould seem that Ida's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be so swift to discount her intuition. Alright, let's see if Fankra does anything new. I fancy my presence was more help than hindrance during our troubles with Leviathan. This time around, well, even I have my off days. Alright, what does Babalimo have to say? Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Gav? I'd hoped Lord Ramuh would be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that Eorzea too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Gav? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? I'm sure that Minfilia will be eager to hear more of your adventures. Let us return to the Rising Stone and put our thoughts in order. Alright, let's go talk with Minfilia. Sure got my egg on. Oh, let's see, they're in new positions. Flamine says, "Duty calls. Well, no matter the task. I have faith you will see it through to the end." Tataru. "Take care, Gav. I look forward to hearing all about your adventures when you return." Ozan, the children are quick to take to Eorzean ways, but I cannot claim the same flexibility. Koharu. Hey, Mr. Gav, what's a Ramuh? Is it cute and fluffy like a horse bird? No. I tried substituting native ingredients several times, but the result was but a pale imitation of authentic Doman cuisine. Kultene, mayhap one day we shall accompany you into the field, but for now we must see to less glamorous duties. Don't worry. Speaking with Master Kultene has opened my eyes to a great many things. I had no idea the world outside Doma was so strange and wonderful. Hori Boulder. Worried about leaving us alone? Don't be. While the Archons are away, Hori Boulder will keep the little ones safe. Yozan. Mr. Gav, is it true you're going to go adventuring again? I'm so jealous. Welcome back, Gav. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramuh precedes you. I would fain share news of my own, but Eorzea's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascians' immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Eorzea, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the waking Scions did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Eorzea and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm
sad.
die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Scions took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Scions in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection,
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Scion soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
The Lord of Levin is returned to the ether, as was Leviathan before him. Nabrialis, Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Emerald, Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Worrell, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. Ultima, the limitless potential of man, Heidelin's servant, grows mightier by the day. Elidibus, yet he prospers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Lahabrea. Divine seeds wherever want to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Plot thickens. Minfilia has some correspondence she wishes to share with you. Now the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Gav. It is a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scions' tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals, Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mogul Mog XII, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there is only one among our member to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Gav, and Eorzea is that much the safer for your presence. Pray, do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Scions may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has been ever long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solus, who wish naught of conflict. Of the Alamegans and the Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag, that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Scions, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphino, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention? There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. Ah, I have a message for you from Ellie. Ahem. You recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphino, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Gav, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for that moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Slayer of Primals. Slayer of Primals. And now player with children. Alphino says, after we parted in Ul'dah, I paid a visit to the refugees. Though a fundamental solution remains far off, I believe that at the very least there should be no armed uprisings in the near future. I'm given to understand that you resolved the matter of Ramuh. I will ask Minfilia for a full report when next we speak. You have done well, Gav. Oh, thanks for your vote of confidence, Alphino. Like I needed it from a teenager. Minfilia says, I realize that you must be quite tired from your travails, but I would most appreciate it if you would find a moment to speak to young Yozan. He has been through much in his own right, I'm sure. All right. This is where we're going to leave it for the night. I'm going to get my trusty cat joke out. All right, here's one. Why did the cat sit on the computer keyboard? It wanted to keep the positive vibes going. Positive. This is so bad. All right, cats and kittens. We've finished another episode of Post-A Realm Reborn quests with Gav Tia, and if you feel like dropping a like or subscribe, please do. We'd welcome it. And we look forward to seeing you in the next adventures. We're making progress. We're about halfway through the Post-Realm Reborn quests on our way to the Heavensward expansion. So we look forward to next time's adventures. So you have a great night, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer is signing out.